and welcome. Our today's topic is counseling in educational institutions for solving mental health problems. The objectives set for the lecture are to have a look over mental health of students, to know about various types of mental disorders which students come across with, to know briefly about the importance of mental health and curriculum, to get acquainted with the mental health in educational institutions, and to know the importance of counseling in resolving mental health issues among students. To have a look over the role of counselors and barriers they face in dealing with mental health problems in educational institutions. To suggest various ways for improving counseling of mental health issues in educational institutions. Let us introduce first. Mental health, which today is recognized as an important aspect of one's total health status, is a basic factor that contributes to the maintenance of physical health as well as social effectiveness. It is being realized by all progressive educators that the goal of mental health and education are similar. The aim of education is all-round development to human personality. It is to help every individual become a well-adjusted being in the society. The education can contribute to the attainment of mental health in being increasingly accepted in all quarters. There are forces, movements and trends in modern educational practice which are indicative of this belief that there are increased importance being given to feelings and emotions as a factor in growth and development. The behavior is complex and there is great significance of interpersonal relationship in day-to-day teaching, sensitiveness to modern teachers to individual differences of students in interest and ability. Another evidence of this standpoint is the assumption that expression and release through worthy creative endeavor are demanded by growing minds and bodies, and that consideration must be given basic human needs in the development of curricula and the selection of subject matter and experiences for children. The prevalence of mental illness in children has reached all-time high, and its public health issue that up until recently has been widely ignored. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, an estimated 1 in 5 children are diagnosed with mental disorders such as ADHD, Tourette syndrome, behavioral issues, mood and anxiety disorders, autism spectrum disorders, or substance abuse disorders. Left undiagnosed or untreated, children's mental disorders can cause a number of problems both at home and in the classroom, affecting the way children learn, behave, and handle their emotions. Despite this, nearly 80% of adolescents who would benefit from mental health treatment do not receive it, and this disproportionately affects children of color and uninsured. Mental health problems can affect many areas of students' lives, reducing their quality of life, academic achievement, physical health and satisfaction with a college experience, and negatively impacting relationships with friends and family members. Now, types of disorders in students. The various types of disorders which students come across are: first, depression. Many things make students depressed, some of which may be due to lack of management in managing playtime and study time. Not only that, the competition among students make them sometimes feel less confident about their abilities and felt they couldn't do anything compared to their peers. Next is insomnia. Studying and doing assignments sometimes keep a student up late at night. This habit can have a negative impact on their health, especially on cognitive function due to lack of rest time. Lack of sleep or rest makes their brain feel tired, making it difficult to concentrate and think well. And next is excessive anxiety. Excessive anxiety or anxiety disorder can interfere with daily activities and make students unable to live their life as usual. In fact, anxiety disorders cannot be underestimated because they cause physical distress to increase the risk of heart disease. There are several things that often cause students to experience anxiety disorders, such as academic pressure and social life. Last but not least, eating disorders. Eating disorders develop when the need to feel control over a stressful environment is channeled through food restriction, overexercise, and an unhealthy focus on body weight. This occurs due to anxieties, learning issues, or poor self-esteem. In severe cases, eating disorders can cause serious health consequences and may even result in death if left untreated. Thus, high levels of mental health are associated with increased learning, creativity, and productivity, more pro-social behavior and positive social relationships, and with improved physical health and life expectancy. Positive mental health focuses on developing environments where students can thrive and reach their optimal potential in study and in life. At times, students experience personal difficulties that may cause disruption and confusion in their lives. Study usually involves a significant commitment of time and effort and requires a disciplined routine in order to achieve academic success, which can place significant stress on mental health. Left undiagnosed or untreated, children's mental disorders can cause a number of problems both at home and in the classroom, affecting the way children learn, behave, and handle their emotions. It is important that in times of high stress, they have strategies in place to protect their mental health. Now, mental health and curriculum. This is an important aspect of education that needs consideration in context of mental health goals through education. The objectives of mental health in education can be achieved if certain principles are observed in curriculum construction. The child's need, interest, and experiences, individual differences in learning capacity should form the central factor. The curriculum should give importance to activities that are of real worth and interest and which have a definite relation to the life of the child and community. It should be flexible and adjustable to the needs of pupils at every stage. It should be dynamic and possible of revision so that it may be in harmony with changing social conditions and should reflect latest developments in educational philosophy and psychology. It should befit the student for competent participation in home and in social and vocational activities. It should incorporate the so-called extracurricular activities such as dramatics, writing, games, hobbies, etc. in the very fabric of the school program. An important principle of curriculum construction is its totality or integration rather than traditional compartmentalization of subject matter. This will be possible if it is an activity and curriculum and presents the human experience as a whole. Now, counseling and mental health of students. Many children and adolescents face mental health challenges that affect their overall academic achievement in the educational settings. These mental health conditions can hinder them from succeeding academically, socially, and emotionally. Symptoms of mental health diagnosis present themselves in countless ways within the academic setting and often prevent students from meeting their full potential. Students needing mental health support are more likely to pursue services within the academic setting than through a local mental health agency. Thus, it is critical that schools be prepared to provide the necessary support. Counseling is one of the best ways to address the main cause of mental health issues. It is the way of managing the effects of a mental health problem. Whether a student is living with mental health problem, it helps them to talk about their experiences and the stigma associated. Counseling services help students in an effective way to resolve their mental health issues, academic problems, and decrease students' anxiety. It enhances their ability to meet the challenge they face so that they can enjoy their life. Therefore, counseling helps students in different ways as: first, understanding students' problem. Counseling helps students to understand their condition. It helps them to comprehend the reasons behind their illness. Second, face challenges. Counseling enables students to face the different challenges in their lives. It can help them to determine the reasons behind their mental illness and to face them in a healthy way. Next is change current behavior. Counseling helps the students to determine their current habits that elevate their mental illness. It helps them to create ways to change their current behavior that contributes to their mental illness. Next, gives room for healing. Accepting mental health issues is the way of healing. It helps to let go their past and in order to give room for the present and future. It also helps them to have the solutions they need to become better. Next, alleviate stress. Counseling gives students empathy and understanding and helps them to alleviate from stressful feelings. This way, they can air out from the stressful situation without being judged. As a result, they can feel better and understand how to cope with what they are going through. School mental health programs for students have been integrated into school curriculum since 1990s. The World Health Organization and several international bodies have emphasized the need for these mental health programs. In the present, there have been several organizations, NGOs and individuals who have taken up projects to implement mental health awareness programs at various school levels, including secondary and higher secondary. These initiatives function in the school in rural and urban settings, including municipal schools, public schools, Anganwadis, and private schools. Along with teachers, the students and parents are also covered under the mental health programs. Some of the many organizations working for promoting school mental health include the Manas Foundation Counselling India, New Horizons Child Development Center, and the D'Souza Foundation. Now, role of a school counselor. As such, school counselors become a crucial part of the education team, collaborating with teachers, administrators, parents, and social workers to ensure that each student receive the care and resources necessary to succeed in their academic and personal lives. School counselors allocate much of their focus to designing and implementing programs which promote the academic and personal success for all of their students. These responsibilities include enhancing the awareness of mental health in their schools and aiming to remove shame and stigma. Provide external referrals, which may include short-term counseling or crisis intervention. Recognize and respond to warning signs such as sudden changes in grades or attendance, disciplinary problem, or visible problems at home. Provide individual focus to students about issues surrounding their mental health, academic well-being, and social and emotional needs. Provide resources and support for teachers, administrators, and parents. Next is barriers faced by counselors in dealing mental health problems in educational institutions. Counselors are a vital part of the educational team, and in an ideal world, children would have adequate access to school counselors. But schools are confronted with budget cuts. Counselors are often among the first to be laid off. The major barriers are: there is no licensing authority which would govern and guide the counseling profession, and there are policy gaps for the practice of school-based counseling in India. The term counseling is often misinterpreted by the school system. A recent research about the professional identity of school counselors in India revealed that parents and teachers want the school counselors to focus on academic advising, students' discipline, conflict resolution, crisis and intervention, and career choice and guidance, while the counselors wanted to focus on student problems and issues. The school administration expects the counselors to handle admission duties, conduct staff enrichment programs, and give low priority for advocacy, equity, and child rights or community issues. Some school counselors are required to work in more than one school and deal with a large group of students, and hence their work environment is not suitable to deal with other programs like organizing career conferences and plan tours. One of the biggest factors that have driven the school counselors in India is the education, training and exposure that they have received as students. Another challenge that school counseling faces is the lack of an organization to watch over the system, define school counselor role, and provide for school counseling licensing, policy research and implementation. Now, what are the different suggestions to improve it? First, the World Health Organization recommended that mental health intervention in schools should be at 4 levels. The level 1 should be promotion of psychosocial competence, which needs to be integrated in the school curriculum. The level 2 should focus on mental health education and should be part of the general health curriculum. The third level should have focus on those children who may need additional psychosocial interventions in school, and level 4 should be specifically for those children who are in need of professional help due to their mental health issues. Educational institutions must incorporate the counselors who have psychology background, and the people recruited for the counselor's job in schools must have the knowledge of counseling. Not only the crash course is sufficient, but they must have the certified psychological knowledge. There must be a regulatory body or mechanism governing the functioning of counselors in educational institutions, which adds to the quality of health care being delivered to the students. There must be a standard for counselors in India, that is, Indian Council of Counselors, that lay down guidelines. This will end up the version that anyone can do a course in counseling from any academy and become a counselor. This will create a positive and confidential environment of counseling in educational institutions. However, the benefit of counseling program should be equally spread to the rural regions, where services for dealing with mental illnesses are not easily available and often stigmatized. Teachers must be given training to deal with the problem in the classroom settings so that the problem is catered at the initial level. Now, dear students, let us conclude. Incorporating mental health in school education programs can give a big boost to tackling mental health issues in children and adolescents. Without keen alertness, children get punished that correlates with school failure. These problems aggravate as children internalize the debilitating effect of performing poorly at school. Thus, there has been a prolonged practice of assisting teachers to equip them to handle issues at school. Schools are the secondary sphere of socialization, development, and growth for children. There has been a renewed emphasis on schools to enhance the mental well-being of young children and their families. Consequently, this has had an impetus on the advocacy of mental health issues in school for holistic development of the youth and preparation of healthy and productive citizens. Thus, empowerment of children and adolescents is very essential in the context prevailing today in India, as there is rapid globalization and urbanization with breaking up of joint families and dwindling traditional social support system. Psychological problems in children and adolescents, especially behavior problems and suicides, are an ever increasing rise. Schools can be endowed with a range of strategies that promote positive mental health, like creating safe environments, teaching social and emotional learning, and recognizing the importance of families. Shadow teaching and assisted training methods for children with special needs make education inclusive for all. Dear students, this was all about today's lecture. Hope you understood well. Thank you.